this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Wednesday the 30th of December. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, it's a bullish start to the morning. Going to see Bitcoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 26,835 to support a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 27,810. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from this morning's high, 27,792. So barring extended rally through the day, but that first major resistance level and resistance at 28,000 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin test resistance at 28,500 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 28,303, and there's also a key resistance level at 28,244 to break through. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 26,340 into play. Barring an extended sell-off, Bitcoin should avoid sub 25,500 levels. Second major support level sits at 25,365. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histograms this morning, supporting this early rally. On the EMA, we're also seeing the 50 move away from the 100 and the 200, suggesting a further upside ahead. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot, 26,835, break out from the morning high, through to 28,000 levels, and then you'd see resistance at 28,500 come into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's also a bullish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 719.81 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 751.61. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from its most recent high at 747. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and a resistance at 760 to cap any upside on the day. In the event of an extended rally, got the second major resistance level at 771.47. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 699.95 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 680. Second major support level sits at 668.15. Looking at the MACD, you've got a widening of the bullish histograms this morning, supporting this early upside. On the EMA, we're seeing the 50 hold its ground against the 100 and the 200, nothing conclusive, so I need to keep an eye on that through the morning. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 719.81, break out from the most recent high 747 to then bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, it's also a positive start to the morning. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 126.45 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 132.91. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through and out from that morning high 130.62. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin test resistance at 140 before any pullback. The second major resistance level sits at 137.12. We also have a key major resistance level at 139.3 that will also limit the upside. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 122.24 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should avoid the second major support level that sits at 115.78. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histogram after yesterday's late bullish cross, supporting this early upside. On the EMA, we're seeing the 50 move away marginally from the 100 and the 200, also suggestive of further upside through the morning. To keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 126.45 and break back through to 130 levels to bring resistance levels into play. If failure to do that, support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, another bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move back through the pivot at 0.2148 to bring the first major resistance level at 0.2576 into play. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.25 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rebound, should see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.30 before any pullback. The second major resistance level sits at 0.2939. Failure to move back through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 0.1785 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid the second major support level at 0.1358. Looking at the MACD, we have a slight narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bearish day ahead. On the EMAs, we are seeing the 50 pull back from the 100 marginally, and the 200 suggestive and supporting this early downside, suggestive of further downside ahead. So keep through the early part of the day. It's just moved back through the pivot. So avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.2148 and break back through to 0.25 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play.